Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be learning something very exciting, that is how to use Canva. Canva is one of the greatest graphic design tools that can help you to speed up your graphic design process. One of the good things about Canva is that they have made their platform so simple. Even though you're not a professional graphic designer, everything I'm going to show you in this tutorial will help you to start up your graphic design effectively using Canva. So stay with me to the end of this video if that's what you'd like to see. By the end of this video, I promise you that even though you have not done any graphic design job before, you could get your hands started using Canva. So as you can see here, what is being displayed on my screen is the Canva website, and you can access it by going to www.canva.com. You can create your own account, log in, and then it brings you to a web page as you can see here on my screen. So let's explore everything we have here on Canva. As you can see here, I have my profile picture here, and this is where you get to access your account. If I click here, you can see this is the account section where you can set so many other things like signing out, read their private policy. So if you check here, you see where it says create new design, but we are going to come back to this. Under here, if you want to get notifications from Canva, probably when they're dropping something new, or maybe there is a notification on your usage on the platform, you get them here. So you can actually go into your account settings. If you don't want to go through your profile here, you can go to your account settings here. Just like you can see, I am under my account here. This is where you add your image, profile picture. You can check your login security, email preferences. And so if you also have a premium account and then you have an enterprise account, you also access it here. I have a personal account and I also have an enterprise account for my business here. As you can see, I have a Digital Creators Hub account here on Canva where we have some other team members who do graphic design for us. So that is what you see under your account setting. Okay, so let's go back to home. Remember, each time you are finding it difficult to navigate through the Canva homepage, just go back to home and then it brings you back to get started. Okay, this here can show you the menu side of Canva where you can access other things. Like you can see here, this is the name of my account here, like I showed you earlier. So under here, this is where you find the project you have been working on. All the projects you've been working on your Canva will appear under here. Okay, so the Canva as an application has the ability for you to design your job here and also share it with other people who are also using Canva. So this is where you get to find all the whole designs. Probably a team member did some design on Canva and shared it with you. This is where it gets to store. So here, when you're working on a project and you feel like you don't need it anymore, you delete it. It appears under here on trash. Here you can manage your team. So under the tools, we have the brand kit and the content planner. These two key features here are very important, but they are for pro users. You can actually use Canva for free, but if you want to now access most products, you need to upgrade your account. Likewise, if you want to access the brand kit and the content planner, you need to upgrade your account. But let me just explain what these two things do. So I click under the brand kit, you can see brand kits here. You can add a brand kit here. What that means is this: let's say you're doing a graphic design for a particular brand and that brand has some different colors, probably their logos. So you can add those colors as brand kit collectively so that when you begin to do designs for that brand, it will help you stay consistent with the colors you're using. If you watch here, you can see I have two brand kits here. They have different colors, and these are the colors I used in working for anything concerning this brand. So you can add as many brand kits as possible. So the second one is the content planner. If I go to the content planner, you see Canva just added this feature so that they can help you to stay productive. Remember, everything about digital content creation is about you staying productive because it is getting more competitive every day. You need to stay productive with these tools. So that's why they have made this content planner so that you can schedule your designs here according to the days you probably want to post them so that you make those designs. So let's say, for instance, if you watch this calendar here, you can see that we have some special days. So if you click any of the days, for instance, we have World Water Day here, which is 22nd of March 2022. So if I click World Water Day, you'll see a lot of templates here that can get me started to create a design for World Water Day. So if you go here, you can start creating a design. That is what the content planner is all about. So I'm going to close the menu here and then we'll go back home. Back home here. So let's explore these other menu items we can see here. Under here, we have template. One of the greatest things about Canva is the inbuilt template they have for different kinds of things you want to design. Okay, so when you come to template, you can pick any type of template that is already pre-made. For instance, under social media, they have templates under social media. They have templates under personal. They have templates that are related to business. businesses. They have templates that are related to marketing. They have educational related designs, and then they have trending designs here. So each one of these templates has been pre-designed so that you can begin to make your designs immediately. So this is one of the ways Canva also help you to stay productive. The template helps you to actually pick a particular design and begin to work. So on features, you can also see features they have. For instance, under photos, you can access free stock photographies from Canva. You can also access icons. You can print your product directly from Canva. You can also integrate Canva to so many applications. Let's say, for instance, you're using YouTube. You can integrate Canva with YouTube so that after making your videos here on Canva, you can publish them directly to YouTube. So under here, you can explore your themes, and you can also use graphs and chart. And under download, it shows versions of Canva that you need. So here you can pick different types of template. Let's say, for instance, you want to make social media designs, or you want to create videos, or you want to make designs related to marketing. From here, you can choose any of these and then pick a specific template to start making your own designs. If you wanted to make maybe a social media design, you can come here under the social media. You can see we have popular, and we have Instagram, and we have Facebook. So if I needed to make Facebook design, I'll click Facebook, and it shows a whole lot of designs template under Facebook. So this one is a Facebook post, and this is a Facebook cover. This is Facebook ad. This is Facebook event cover, and this is Facebook video. Why this one is a Facebook story. So notice something. While I put my cursor on them, you see the name Facebook post, and after that you get to see a number. So that number is what we call the dimension. Some call it the size. You can also call it the resolution of that particular design. For instance, this one is 940 by 788 pixel, and then this Facebook cover is 1640 by 924 pixels. So each one of these has its own predefined size depending on what you want to design. Let's say I want to make a Facebook post. I can click this create blank. When you click on that, we have a new design where we can begin to do our design. Have it in mind, this design have a size, and that size is actually the size for every Facebook post. You see, we picked a template, and then we didn't need to set the size by ourselves. So I just showed you how you can start creating a blank design using a template. But let's say I want to create a design from scratch. I'll come here. When I click create a new design, you see you can still choose any of those templates just like we saw here. You can still choose them here. But the important thing I want to show you here is you can create a custom design. Creating a custom design means you have the size of the design you want to do, and you don't want to pick any template for it. You just want to put in that design size by yourself. So you create a custom design here. But if you want to edit a photo, you click edit photo here. So let's say you already have a design you were working on. You can import from here. So where we are after is to create custom size. I click create a custom size there, and then it's asking me for the width and for the height. This is where I now choose the width and height of what I want to design. Okay, so let's say I want to make the Facebook post that I selected earlier. For the width, I put 940, and for the height, I put 788, and then the value here is in pixel. You can actually select probably in inch or in millimeter, or select it in centimeter. Graphic designers always like to work in pixels, so that's why I'm leaving it at pixels. Here I'll create new design, and then it opens that into another page. You see we have the same blank space we had earlier when we selected the Canva template. So here you can rename this design. As you can see here, it said Untitled design, and it shows us the dimensions or the size of the design. So here I can actually rename it to something. Let's say I am making a design probably for a cryptocurrency Facebook page. I just named that crypto poster or something. I'm just showing you this so that you know where to rename your design when you're doing. So I click outside there, and then you see my design now has this name. It is time now that I can start adding things to this my blank document to start my design. Now let's still explore most of these things we are seeing here. So here is where you see the file size of what you're designing. Let's say you want to recheck it again, so you can go there on the file. You can see the size here. So you can also create new design by coming to file if you didn't want to start the way I started. So you can also show rulers and the guides. This shows the margin. This shows print bleedings. I'm not going to explain everything here because this is not a full graphic design class. If not, the tutorial will be too long. So I'm just trying to show you most of these things for you to get your way around Canva. So here we have resize. Let's say I am changing my my mind about this particular size and I want to resize this to something else, I can click resize here and then I resize to something else. But also note that this resize feature is for pro users. So anytime you see you're working on Canva and you see this crown icon placed in front of something, just know that that feature or that thing requires you to get the paid version of Canva. As you can see here, this is a template, and if you watch here, it says pro with the crown icon by each side. What it means is if you must use this template in your design, you need to have the pro account of Canva. That brings us to this area again. So remember, you can use Canva to also do video editing. If you watch here, you can see the 5 seconds mark here. What it means is this particular page you're seeing, if you export it as a video format, is going to have a length of 5 seconds. That's what this number here means. So if you don't export it as a video, it will be exported as a graphic image. Now let's begin to add things. If you watch around, you see the blue border. When you move your cursor inside it, you see the blue border. That is show you the area of your design. Now when you watch here, you will see where it says duplicate page. Have it in mind that you can duplicate pages on Canva. You can add another page. If I click it here or here, you will see we have a second page. So if I scroll up, you see where it says page 1, add a page title. I haven't titled any of this page, and then this one says page 2, also prompting me to add a page title. So we now have 2 pages. Depending on the kind of design you're doing, maybe you're doing a carousel for your Instagram handle, you now need to understand how many pages you want your design to be. So I'm just going to delete one of these pages. So as you can see here, we have an additional button that says delete page, and then we also have other buttons here. You can use these 2 buttons to rearrange this page. You move this one down, or you can use it to move it up. So if you have pages and you want to move them in different positions relative to each other, you can use this move down and move up button here. I'm just going to delete one of these pages because I'm only interested in one. So again here, you can see where you can add a comment. So I'm just going to add a comment. I say I'm working on this design. So what comment does is, if I'm working with a team and any team member that is seeing this project will also be able to access this comment. So with this, you can actually keep in track with other team members. Let's say you want a team member to do a specific job from where you left, you can add it there. You can also reply the person. So let me just delete this. So how do you add stuff to your Canva? Now we want to add stuff to your Canva. You come to this tab here. Under element, you will see a whole lot of inbuilt elements, graphic assets that you can drag and drop from Canva if you want to use any of them. And each one of them is categorized. We have lines, we have graphics, we have photos, so many other things like flower, stars, and all that. So let's say I wanted to add some graphics stuff here to get my design started. So I can go to the graphics tab here. When I click the graphics tab, it shows me so many other graphics materials that Canva has built in here. So you can actually select any one. Like here, you see the ones I recently used. So you see your recently used here. You can see the featured ones. You can see other types. So it all depends on what you want to design. Let's say I want to make a design of these 2 footballers. I bring this on. I drag and drop. I also drag and drop this one here. How can you manipulate the features of these images I have dragged and dropped into my design? When you select any one of them, you will see the green border appearing around that selection. So what it means is I have this current one selected. You can actually select anything that you have in your design. I can bring more things into my design by dragging and dropping them here. Anyone I select, when you watch here, you see the various colors that this graphic design assets here contains. You can actually change any of these colors here to the choice you want. Let's say I want to remove the red color in this design. So I go to this color red here, click on it, and then it shows me other color that I can choose. So I want to change that red color there to something purple. You see, it changes the red color. If I want to change this blue color, I choose this blue. Once I click it, it gives me options of other color palette here, and then I can choose the color I want. That is how to manipulate these images. So you can also crop this image or flip horizontally, flip vertically. You can also animate it. Let's say I wanted to make this a video format, so I can animate animate these assets that I have here by choosing any of the animation preset. All these ones you're seeing here are animation presets that are already inbuilt into Canva. So let's say I want this, and I select that stump, so it has applied to this graphics. Since I have applied a video effect, it has converted my design to video, and it has a 5 seconds duration. So if I play it here to preview, you see it shows the animation I added and play for the next 5 seconds. I just have to close so that we'll continue. I want to delete one of these. And how do you delete? Once you click and select a particular object you're using in the Canva design, you can just hit delete from your keyboard, or you probably delete it from here. I want to also bring in another element, so I go back to my element here, and then I want to bring in this ball. I click and just drag and drop it here, then resize it a bit by dragging these 4 corners. This is where you can do resize or crop an item in Canva. Notice the difference. You crop from here. Cropping means you are resizing by removing some part of that particular object you're designing with, but when you're resizing means you're just transforming the size of that particular asset. So I resized and I moved it up here. Okay, so what else I want to show you here is the position feature. So the position is what you use to practically align these two items in relation to each other. So let's say this ball is in front of this image here, but I want it to go to back of it or behind it. Then I come to position. Once I select position, I click backward, so it will send that ball backward in relative to this one. That is how you position things here in your Canva design. This one, as you can see, is in front of this ball, and if I want it to go back, I can either right click on it and send it backward or send it back. So now let's look at the difference between sending backward and sending back. I just have to bring in another asset there. So I have this 3 stuff stack. This one is in the front of, or if I send it backward, it's going to go to back of this other image here, but you see it didn't go back to the back of the ball just because I used backward. So when you're working on Canva and you make a mistake or you want to undo something, you can use the Ctrl+Z on your keyboard, or you use this button here, undo. So you undo here and then you redo with this button, but there's nothing for me to redo now. Rather, I want to undo something. I'll just use the undo here. So I did that so that I will also show you again what will happen to it when I use send to back. So when I use send to back, it's going to send this particular image to the back of everything in this design. So you see it has gone to the back of everything here. So that is the difference between sending to back and sending backward. Another feature I want to show you here is the transparency feature. So transparency is just like the brightness of what you are designing. Let's say I wanted this image to be fainty. That means I don't want the transparency to be at 100, so I can reduce the transparency. You can also lock whatever item you're using to design. So let's say I don't want to mistakenly move it from this position. Once I place it in that position, I can use this key icon to lock it in that position. So you see, if I try to click there and drag it, I cannot drag it and move it, but I can drag and move other of these items here. When you double click it, it will show you a key icon here to show you that this element can't be edited because I locked it. So I can unlock by also clicking that key icon there. So you can also duplicate anything you are using. Let's say I wanted to make this guy double. I use this duplicate button here, or you can use Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. Ctrl+C means to copy and Ctrl+V means to paste. So whichever way you want to use to duplicate anything you're working on. Let's say I want to duplicate that. I use this duplicate button. I have double of it. That is how to add element. How can we add text and then manipulate text? If you come to text here, when you click on it, it will show you some preset of text. You can click on any one of them to add a text. I click on this add heading. You see it has added a default text here. I can actually select it, or by using Ctrl+A on my keyboard and then use the back button to delete this, and then I just need to add. So this is how to add a text. And how can you manipulate this text? You can change the text fonts here by clicking on it. Then you scroll. You can pick any kind of font style. But most of these fonts you are seeing here are paid fonts. You can actually use the free ones if you are not on the pro version of Canva. So I just want to change that font from Open Sans Extra to this Horizon font. And then you change your font size here. Maybe you want to make this font font smaller, decrease it here, or you want to make it bigger, you increase it from here. You can change the font color here by selecting it and click any of the color you want. So you can also make the font bold if the font is not bold, but because this is already a bold type of font, that is why I am not able to select the bold feature here with some fonts to be able to make it bold or make it italics. And then this is to align the font. Alignment means how do the font sit in respect to the page. For instance, this is left alignment. You see the whole text has come to the left hand side, and this is right hand side alignment. You see that the whole text came to the right hand side. Depending on what you want to do, you need to know how you have to align your text. So I'm just going to move this text upward, drag it and move it upward here. So there are some other things I can actually do to my text, like you can use listing. You can also space this text by spacing the letters. So you can space the letters here. By spacing the letters, you're spacing individual letters relative to each other. When you shrink them, they come together. So you just have to know how to use this to make a good design. You can also space the lines. The line is talking about this space here. When you're spacing the line, it gets wider, but when you're bringing it back, it shrinks down. You can also add effect. You can pick probably the shadow effect, or you pick the lift effect. You have some other effects here like the hollow, the slice, the echo effect. Whichever effect that you choose, it also have a preset. For instance, the neon effect also has the intensity, where I can increase the intensity of the neon effect. So you see, this is how you manipulate text in your Canva. You can also animate this text by going to animate here. Once you click animate, it shows you some other preset that you can click and then it animates. That is if you're trying to make it a video format. You can select any type of animation here, and then you see the name of the animation. So that's how to add text to your design. This is just to show you how to get started making some design. It is not a full graphic design training. If you want to register for our graphic design training courses, make sure to state that in the comment and I will get to you as soon as possible. If you have gotten value, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button so that YouTube algorithm can recommend the video to other people who might be needing it. Make sure you also share this video. In my subsequent videos, I will be teaching step by step on how you can now make specific designs using Canva. Maybe you want to make a YouTube thumbnail, or maybe to make social media Instagram story. Thank you very much for watching and see you in my next video.